Welcome to 504 Absolutely Essential Words. This is Teacher Jayer from Camglish.com. For this episode, we're going to have Lesson 5. Unlike the previous episodes, today we're going to look into some vocabularies a bit deeper and we'll try to go into the meaning of each sentences. So, let's start. Our first vocabulary is tradition. 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 This is a noun which means beliefs, opinions, and customs handed down from one generation to another, or an inherited pattern of thought or action. Example, the Olympic torch relay. It's been a tradition to light the Olympic flame before the ceremony or the sports start. It's something that our ancestors did that we are still doing and the next generation will continue to do. Now let's have the sentences. The father tried to persuade his son that the tradition of marriage was important. An old example of the said tradition is the tradition of arranged marriage. All religions have different beliefs and traditions. That is why there are different religions because people have different views about God and they have different practices of worshiping God. As time goes on, we will eliminate traditions that are meaningless. And for me, I think one of those traditions could be the arranged marriage. That's just for me though. Again, tradition. Number 2. Rural. 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 This is an adjective which means in the country, specifically an agricultural country. Tomatoes are less expensive at the rural farm stand. It is actually true that crops in rural areas are less expensive, but when they reach the city, they become expensive. So if you want to buy cheap and fresh crops, go to the nearest rural farm stand. Rural areas are not densely populated. There are less people in the countries. The rural life is much more peaceful than the city life. This must be because there are less people in the rural areas. Again, rural. Number 3. Burden. 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 This is a noun which means what is carried or a load. Somehow you can also say it's concern or a problem. The burden of the country's safety is in the hands of the president. The president is actually the one responsible for the maintaining of peace and order in a country. Irma found the enormous box too much of a burden. Perhaps she doesn't know where to place such huge box. That's why it became a problem for her. And Ricky carried the burden throughout his college career. What could that burden be? It could be the burden given by his professors. Again, that is burden. Number 4. Campus, campus, campus. This is a noun which means grounds of a college, university, or school, or simply a college or a university. The campus was designed to utilize all the college's buildings. The school's ground was used for constructing new buildings, perhaps. Jeff moved off campus when he decided it was cheaper to live at home. Some campuses have dormitories, so in this sentence, Jeff moved from his dormitory to his house. I chose to go to Penn State because it has a beautiful campus. Penn State is actually Pennsylvania State University in the US, and indeed, it has a beautiful campus. Campus. Number 5. Majority. 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 This is a noun which means the larger number, greater part, or more than half, or simply the most number. A majority of votes was needed for the bill to pass, so votes should be more than half the number. The majority of people prefer to pay wholesale prices for meat. Most people find it more practical to pay wholesale, not just for meat but for other goods. In some countries, the government does not speak for the majority of the people. Sadly, the government speaks for its own. Majority. Number 6. Assemble. 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 This is a verb which means gather together or bring together. The rioters assembled outside the White House. Rioters are people who gather together and by law are causing disturbance for a common purpose. Since White House is the official residence of USA's president, the rioters must be expressing themselves about the government. I am going to assemble a model of a spacecraft. So I'm going to use some materials in order for me to make a replica of a spacecraft. All the people who had assembled for the picnic vanished when the rain began to fall. All those people who were together for the picnic disappeared when the rain came. Again, assemble. So that's just the first half of our vocabularies for this lesson, and we're going to continue with the second half on the next episode. See you then. Have a good day.